focused on crypto and on Daddy, so on and so forth. My question for you is, you have like very publicly in many podcast interviews, Andrew Tate videos, stated that you will never at any point endorse or launch a crypto coin. And if I'm like remembering correctly, I think there's 3 coins that have been endorsed, then potentially a 4th, the one that's going to be launched, which we'll talk about, the real world coin. We'll get into that next. My question for you is just like, what changed?
Well, there's one person I don't want to make an enemy of.
Okay.
And that's God.
Okay.
And God doesn't like the lazy. Mm-hmm. Lazy people shouldn't ever really be lucky. He doesn't like the lazy. He doesn't like people who don't work hard for things. And my problem with crypto as a whole was not that it made people rich. I've been in crypto for a very long time. I think there's some guys on Twitter who did an expose of me, and they found some tweets on my old account where I had Pancake at less than $1, and I made...
I've seen the burner.
Yeah, I made a bunch of millions on Pancake, and I've been in Bitcoin since 3,000, and blah, 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 blah. Mm. So I have hundreds of millions of crypto, but my problem is not crypto as a whole. I actually love crypto as an asset, and I love crypto as a utility. Mm-hmm. If I spend large sums of money, I love doing it in crypto. It's much easier in the bank, especially in my current situation. My problem with crypto is that it instigated a culture which I didn't like. I didn't like the crypto culture as a whole, because the culture was based on getting in early, which, I mean, I guess you could argue is a skill, but to a degree is luck. Gambling, rug pulls, staying anon, hiding like a little coward in a hole, like a little bitch, and just being a degen, laughing about how you're a retard. And the whole culture was just based on infantile, asinine. The whole thing aggravated me, because typically in the real world, if you want to get rich, it's nearly impossible to get rich without learning lessons along the way, right? If you want to make millions of dollars in the real world, sooner or later, you're going to have to get staff, which means you have to learn to manage people and motivate people. You're going to learn how to fire people, how to hire people, how to tell if someone's lying to you about a vaccine. You're going to be able to learn things about tax code. You're going to be able to learn things about, no, it's true. You're going to end up needing an office. You're going to have to learn about real estate and leasing. Then you're going to need to learn about how to sell a company and present a company, or perhaps go to a bank and obtain finance and do presentations and do sales. You're going to learn all these things along the way, because money doesn't make a man. Money amplifies a man. So if you're a smart person with money, you become very smart. If you're an idiot with money, you become a real big idiot. If you're a G with money, you become the top G. So if you learn things along the way to wealth, the lessons that you learn are amplified by the money. You live a good life. The problem with crypto is there's a bunch of people who would put in $10, pull out 600 grand or 6 million or whatever they do on a shit coin. They've learned nothing along the way. They've improved themselves 0%. They gambled, they pulled it off. But they know so little about life, they don't even take that money and reinvest it in themselves. They don't even think, okay, I'm now rich, I need a personal trainer, I need to learn how to fight, I need to learn how to speak, I need to learn how to present, I need to learn. They don't even do that. They just take some more money out and go back to the gambling. They don't learn anything about themselves. So I didn't like that crypto was making people rich without people learning lessons along the way. And that's why the culture was what it was, because the crypto culture before I jumped into it a month ago was a mess. I mean, I jumped into it and people were saying, this guy's got influence. And I'd scroll up and down his page for a fraction of a second and say, he's a fucking loser. Who listens to this guy? Who gives a shit what he thinks? He's a fucking nobody. A bunch of nobodies. And then a bunch of anons, a bunch of thieves, a bunch of snakes. The whole thing was a fucking mess. It was a cesspit. Once I decided I was going to fix it, I decided I had to come up with an idea that allowed people to make money from the things they should make money from, which is hard work, which is dedication. We can use the favorite word, which is perspicacity, paying attention. Word. People who actually sit down and dedicate themselves to something, and who do the right thing and learn lessons along the way, who aren't anon, who aren't hiding, who aren't trying to rug pull, who aren't trying to snake others, who aren't trying to be deceptive, who aren't trying to get in first to use others as exit liquidity. None of this PvP bullshit, just people doing the right thing. I thought perhaps there's a way that I could revolutionize the industry by instigating a coin that would allow that to be done, which is what the real world coin is going to be. And I've already explained this, I think, on a last show, either yesterday or before. And I'm going to release a very detailed video in the coming days that explains exactly how it's going to work. But before I could do anything in the crypto space, I had to prove I was the king of the crypto space. So before doing anything, I thought, well, let me just come along and just start saying tickers and see what happens. I think the first day I was in my garden, making random videos on my iPhone saying tickers, billions and billions of liquidity moved all over the place. And I wasn't trying. I mean, I wasn't paying for advertising. I wasn't going out to stadiums. I wasn't organizing world tours. I was sitting in my garden on my phone saying I'm a nigger, or whatever I was saying, garbage.
Why do you have to say that one, though?
Say the word, bro.
Dude, it's just like...
Pussy. It's because you're
You
vaccinated.
could go without that.
because you're vaccinated.
You could go without that one, though, you know? It's like...
It's because you're vaccinated. Real nigger.
Dude, but it's just like...
So
I gotta cut it out, though, right?
Cut it out then.
Like...
Pussy. So I'd say whatever I wanted to in my phone, and things would move. I'd controlled the world. And I did that to build a degree of faith within myself in the crypto industry, but everybody knew I could do that anyway. So, I mean, I wouldn't say it was all completely calculated, because I don't operate that way.
Yeah.
It was, let me show crypto I can do crypto.
I like that you say that, by the way.
No, because you make up plans on the fly, right?
And then you
Let me
tie
show
them back
crypto-
together
yeah,
on the back
Let me show
end.
crypto that I can do crypto. Okay, now I can do crypto. Yeah. Now every single tweet I put out is making people rich. If I tweet about something completely unrelated, if I tweet about football, there's some coin linked to that team which pumps. If I tweet about cars, there's a coin for that car that pumps. Every single thing I tweet now is making somebody rich.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go against God, because God does not want the lazy, anon, loser, disingenuous, rug-pulling, scumbag Jeet to get rich. So I said, well, if I have this much power, if crypto is now mine, if I control it in my hands, like Dalsim with his flames, then I'd use my power responsibly. So therefore, the crypto industry actually gave itself to me as a guardian. As a guardian angel, the crypto community came to me and said, Andrew, please, take control of all of this. Save us from all of these morons and fix it. And like a damsel in distress, I sat there and looked with pity upon this pathetic industry run by dickheads and dorks and thought, fine, I'm going to launch a coin which is based on the things that it should be based on. Coincidentally, because I'm a genius and a very successful man, I guess God just gave me the good fortune of owning the largest online educational platform on the planet, university.com. So I thought, perhaps if I tie these two things together, because my school teaches hard work, and my school rewards hard work, and we teach people how to make money the old-fashioned way, as opposed to this gambling roulette bullshit, perhaps I can put both together and I can save the world, because that's what I've been doing my whole life anyway, saving the world, escaping people from the matrix. So that's where it all came from, and that's my plan.
So if the goal is to use crypto responsibly, doesn't that sort of contradict the initial start of just like tweeting random tickers to prove a point?
Well, the first thing you have to do before you're going to be responsible is prove a point.
Okay.
Don't you think?
But
this is an interesting thought experiment.
Okay, yeah, let's do it. Let's have a little thought experiment. What do you got?
If the police want to be responsible and preserve society, and they want to do that responsibly, first they have to prove they have power, no?
Okay.
Like if the police turned up and no one knew who the police were or what the police could do, who would listen to them? Why are you wearing a stupid hat? Go away. I'm about to hit this guy. No, they have to prove their power first. They have to lock a bunch of people up, kill a few people, arrest some people, put themselves on the news. Once they've shown their power, they now have the ability to use that power either responsibly or irresponsibly. Please understand, everybody at home watching, I could use my power irresponsibly. I could go to some devs, organize a bunch of rugs, I could tweet some things, make a whole ton of money, and just be irresponsible.
Couldn't you argue what you did was irresponsible?
Well, I mean, I guess now we tie things into intent.
Okay.
Because what I just described there with the devs and rugging would be intentional.
I believe intent matters, almost more than outcome.
Oh, absolutely. If my intent was to show I had power, which I did, my intent was not to steal anything from anybody. And also the point that up until this day, I've made no money from any of this. I wasn't making money myself. I wasn't pumping things myself. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of blockchain analysts who can analyze all this crap. I already have money. So this wasn't about money for me. So consider I made no money from it and my intent was only to display my power. Of course, some people are gonna get rich, some people are gonna lose money. That's what I was doing. But my intent was not to steal. My intent, most people inside the crypto community, I would argue 99.9% of them, if they had my power, would use it to steal. That's what they'd use it for. Anybody in the crypto community, any of these influencers or these other fucking losers and all these names I hear, these nobodies, if any of them had any genuine pull like I did, they would all just steal and rob, which proves my entire point about the industry in the first place, which is why it's such a fucking mess, which is why I've come into it. Why have I come into it to clean it up? Is it because I'm such a philanthropist, such a nice person? Not really. It's because it would make me a legend. It would give me social standing.
Don't you think you're already a legend with social standing?
Of course I am, but why not? Push further, right? You buy 59 cars and then you buy a 60.
What's like the limit? Is there a limit?
Of course not. When Alexander the Great was conquering Earth, Do you think he stopped? We have Greece and we have Macedonia.
Well, you could stop at Earth. What's your Earth?
Well, I haven't got all of Earth yet.
Yeah,
I
that's
found
true.
this crypto community mess. I'm going to clean that up. Like I cleaned up online education, like I escaped people from the Matrix. I'm sure when I'm 55, I'll be fighting something else. This is who I am as a person. I see an opportunity, and I see the opportunity for people to sit around and say, you know what that Tate guy did? That was crazy. That's my motivation. I'm not selfless. I'm not doing this because I'm such a nice fucking guy.
For sure.
I'm doing this so everyone can say, wow, Tate knows what he's doing. That's it. Whether you like me,
just wanna be
dislike
right.
me, I just want to be right. I want to prove I can do it. Here we are today. Daddy's up 73% in the last 3 days. I waited for the market to dump so that I could pump my coins because I said to my guys, I want one green ticker on the screen. One green, mine. Because I can do it. I can pump it again now. I could tweet something right now and double it. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
I have magic powers. Dalsim. And this is what's so interesting about the magic powers.
Okay, talk to me about the magic powers.
Because
What do you got?
power lies where people believe it lies.
Okay.
Which is what we were talking about the police. We believe the police have power, so they have
Therefore,
power.
they have power.
When I was playing Street Fighter, when I was young as a kid, I was playing, and I was Ken, and Dalsim beat me, the computer.
Yep.
And the win screen came up. And Dalsim said to me, he said, my flame is but an illusion. It burns you because you believe it is real.
Ooh, that's crazy.
And I listened to that, and that stuck with me. I was only 7 or 8. That stuck with me my whole life. So everybody at home knows I can pump any coin I want. And everybody at home knows I can make a video or a tweet and change the entire market instantly from my phone. Everybody knows it, and everybody believes it, which makes it true.
Which makes it true.
This is the situation I'm in. Do I use that responsibly or irresponsibly? Or do I just bow out from the crypto market? I could just bow out and do nothing. But I've been stuck inside this country for 2 years now. I haven't been on a holiday. I'm a little bit bored. So why not? Why wouldn't I? It's not financially motivated, but it's also not selfless. I'm doing this because everyone's going to talk about it. You flew here
I did.
because of what I did.
Yeah. It was
So
an
now-
expensive trip.
Oh, there you go.
Paid for the whole crew, everything.
Absolutely.
Wasn't cheap.
That's right. So I don't know which airline you flew with. They probably owe me a cut.
Yeah.
The Marriott should pay me.
Yeah, they should.
So here we go. We talk about affecting the world, right?
Yeah.
I have a bunch of gentlemen from LA flying all the way around the world.
Far.
Because I made a tweet in my garden.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha. And then you can look at this from a metaphysical level. Because then you look at it a level deeper, right? We're all servants to God. Nobody is above God. We're servants to him and him alone. But you could argue that he has some favorites, perhaps. There are men who can sit in their compound and say a word and affect the entire earth and affect the lives of many other people and affect money being moved around markets and affect people flying on planes and affect people being happy or sad and affect people arguing with their girlfriend or not and affect what a BBC News presenter says that night and affect, I mean, that's an interesting situation and scenario to be in. You'd have to be a very intelligent man to sit down and understand that level of power and self-reflect to the point to make sure you don't do anything which is genuinely detrimental to society. It's hard now.
Yeah.
You have to be careful with every single thing you say. Even when I say that word you don't like me saying, why am I saying it?
Why do you say
well,
it?
okay, well, this is what we're talking about now. This is what we're talking about. Am I saying it because I'm irresponsible? Am I saying it because I'm half black? Am I saying it because I'm a dumbass? Or am I saying it because I believe that part of the matrix programming inside of the humanity that we're living in today is that certain words have been weaponized to the point that nobody can even hear them without feeling uncomfortable. Nazi is one of them. Holocaust. There's certain things you can't talk about. We don't live in a world of objectivity anymore. I could sit and say that Hitler was a bad person. I don't like Hitler. But he built the highways in Germany. The reason Germany has highways, Hitler built them. You're a Nazi. I'm not a Nazi. I don't agree with anything he said. I'm just saying that he ordered the construction of highways. You're a Nazi. People can't listen to you say that a road was built. I could say Hitler wore shoes. I wear shoes.
Those are nice shoes.
Thank you. It doesn't mean I agree with anything he says, but when I say that, will you say that you wear shoes like Hitler?
Well, I do wear shoes.
Okay, and who else wore shoes?
He wore shoes.
What's his name?
Hitler.
See, you're scared to say it. Why? It's an objective fact.
That's true.
The fact we can't say objective facts anymore without people getting nervous and afraid is the reason we're in the situation we're in. The reason we're living in a false reality is because you're going to go through life seeing things, knowing things, and afraid to say them. Because they've programmed fear into your heart to the point where you won't say what you think and see. So when I say that word, I have a past because I'm part black. But I don't say it because of that. I say it to prove to the world that it's just a fucking word. And if someone comes up to me and says it to me, I don't give a shit. I don't find offense in it. I don't care. And you could say it to my black family, they don't care either. It's a fucking word. If you're gonna be that controlled by a word, you're not free from the plantation anyway. You're just enslaved by something else. So what I'm doing is challenging social paradigms, and I'm doing that to try and free minds. I'm not saying words to be crass. You're still looking at the code in the matrix. You're thinking so shallow. You think I'm saying things for shock factor, which I guess I am.
You didn't like that.
Well, no, because I am saying it for shock factor to shock people into understanding the reality of this world, not for shock factor for fucking likes. I can take a piss and get likes. I don't give a fuck about likes. So you're not thinking deeper than what it actually is. So that's the reason I say that word. So I have monumental global influence. I have to be very careful what I do with it.
For sure.
And when I jumped into the crypto space and proved my influence exists there and far surpasses any of these fucking nerds who are supposed to be somebody in crypto, I decided that if there was going to be any coins associated with me, they should promote what God wants promoted, which is hard work and diligence and brotherhood and teamwork. This is why I've said, you're not going to get rich from the real world token if you don't join my school. And when you join my school, there's a fitness campus, and you better go to the gym, and you better post your results. Otherwise, you will not increase your power level inside of the school, and you will not benefit from the airdrop. There will be hundreds of thousands of young men going into a gym and training hard specifically to get the airdrop of my token. That's karma from God. No one can call me a bad person for putting people in good shape. That's the reason I put these things together.
Karmic retribution.
Karmic retribution. This
I said it right too.
This is exactly it. This is the karmic retribution. And then you look at my life. Once again, how come I have this power? Why do I have the power to get people to fly across the world? Why do I have the power that despite the highest level matrix attack a man can possibly suffer, I still have money? Despite every single MSM article being negative against me constantly for over 3 years, despite a Romanian dungeon sitting with cockroaches and my brother staring at a fucking wall in the dark for 4 months, despite whatever they put me through, I come out on top endlessly. No matter who they sit me in front of, the best interviewers on the planet, I destroy them. Every single time they sit there with the indictment and their bullshit papers and they lose. The fact that everybody believes me and everybody likes me and nobody agrees with any of this shit they say about me. How have I done that without karmic retribution? Is that fucking luck? It's karmic retribution because I know I'm doing the right thing. You will benefit from my airdrop if you train in the gym. If you don't train in the gym, you're not going to benefit from it. There's no other crypto that will say that. Any other crypto is going to say, get in early, know some guy, lie to someone, snake someone, make a hidden wallet, a bunch of fucking clown shit. I'm not interested in clown shit. It would piss God off. The one thing I am not going to do in the world today is annoy him because I need him more than ever, which is why I haven't made any money, which is why I haven't rugged anyone. I mean, since I launched my coin, I think 7 or 8 celebrities have rugged.
Yeah.
Like 10 or 12. I don't even want to say names because they'll see it. Because everything I say, people see. They know who they are.
I know who they are.
And they're just rugging. There's no chance of me ever doing that.
All right, I pose you a question. Before we're going to talk about the real world token next. But on the topic of I'll never promote anything in crypto, you made a comment. It basically was like, even if I promote a coin and it goes up 100,000x, at some point, it will come down.
Correct.
There will be a student of mine, an Andrew Tate fan, that bought that coin. They lost money. I will never let an Andrew Tate fan lose money.
Well, here's where we have to differentiate because I've also said this on yesterday's broadcast. I said my loyalty is to my students.
Okay.
My loyalty is to the students inside of my university because I know they agree with my worldview and my creed. Humans, men especially, are tribalist. We are tribalism. Tribalism is what defines humanity. It always has. In the liberal West right now, we pretend we're not tribalist, but we are. We're still tribal. I have my tribe. The students who believe in me enough to learn from me are the ones I'm loyal to. They're going to get an airdrop for free. So they can't lose. Now, if you don't want to join my school because you don't want to go to the gym and you don't want to learn other ways to make money outside of crypto because you don't want to work, or perhaps you don't want to invest $49 a month, less than the price of lunch for an entire month because you don't want to sign up, because you know you're going to have to do some work in there to increase your power level to get the airdrop. If you don't want to sign up and you just want to buy the coin when it launches, I don't give a shit about what happens to you because you're not on my team. My students are guaranteed to win because they get the coin for free. So how can they lose?
So even if you lost, it will balance out.
Well, my point is this. I can only be loyal to one team. There's no light without dark.
For sure.
What did we say earlier? You're not a hateful person if you love something. If you want America to win, if you say I love America, you're saying, whether you like it or not, that you hate China. Because there's no light without dark.
No light without dark.
That's how it goes. I love my students. I want them to win. Does that mean someone else might lose, but they're not my student? So you have to make a choice now. If you're watching this and you're a student of mine, you should say, let me ask you a question. Let me change the frame. The reason everyone loves Trump is because he's a nationalist. America first. When you say America first, he's saying other countries second, other countries last. We love him for that. Most people do with a brain.
Most people, yeah.
But he's choosing Americans over others. He's not choosing team humanity, because those leaders we don't want. So if you're a student of mine, you can look at me as the leader of the project and the leader of the school that you're enrolled in and say, he cares about me more than the people who are not in this school. That should make you feel comfortable and say, good, he cares about his students and nobody else. That's why I'm gonna win. If you're watching this and you're not a student of mine, you have to then make a decision. Do I believe in Andrew enough to become a student of his? Or do I think he's a liar? If you think I'm a liar, don't join. It's fine. If you believe in me and you believe what I'm saying, then join. And you're on the right team. You have to make a choice. The world is war. It's endless violence. Who is right is the team that wins. If my team, in a year from now, have made endless money, if we had a multi-billion-dollar project and they were all airdropped it for free, and the school's bigger than it's ever been, and everyone's making money and it has endless utility, which I've implemented because I also have the ecosystem for utility, and they can stake it, and profits from the real world's being paid back to them, and everyone's driving Lambos, were we right? Well, we won. What else is it about? Yeah. And if you're some dickhead who wasn't inside of my school and sat there and go, well, I had the choice to join, but I didn't believe, but now I believe, and then I bought the coin at the top, and then I lost some money. Fuck you. Well, you're a dumbass. I don't have any time to be worried about dumbasses. I have enough real problems in my own life than to concern myself with dumbasses. So, to answer your question, I have loyalty to my students, and my students will never lose, because my students believe in me. And power is loyalty, and loyalty is power. And that is why I understand I must be absolutely loyal to my students. I have an obligation to them. Despite the fact that I may be the powerful one, I still have an obligation to them. That's what the problem with the world is today, is exactly that. The powerful do not feel an obligation to their constituents anymore. Any political leader in the West, does not wake up and say, I have to do what my constituents want.
Do you think it used to be that way?
Of course it did.
And what changed?
Well, it changed. A lot of things changed. I have to be very careful what I say, but they used to have repercussions for their actions, and now they don't. And then you understand, when you look at the system deeper, or you're unfortunate enough to see the system at the level I've seen it, you realize they don't work for you. They use you as an excuse, and they tell you what you want to hear so they can get into power, and then they end up working for the banks and the money and the control. So you're sitting there saying, why are they not doing what I want them to do? I am their constituent, and they're my representative. They don't represent you. They represent a bank somewhere. They represent the large pools of finance. This is the reality of it. But in days of old, the leaders of armies would charge first on their horse. Now they sit back, right? They sit in Congress, and they send other young men to die while their son stays home, and they stay home. But they send other young men to die, and they talk about patriotism and how important it is, and they send young men to go get blown up in a ditch. Anyone who still falls for that is heavily psyoped. This is why psyops are so dangerous. If you're stupid enough now to go fight in the American army to defend in banking interests, you're a dumbass. But if you're gonna go do it, then go do it. I mean, some people could be psyoped. Goodbye, do it. But in days of old, if the leader of a country wanted to go to war, he had to go to war first.
First, yeah.
Which is also
crazy.
But this is also one of the reasons I have so much pull. This is what the Matrix doesn't understand about me. They sit and say, we have to destroy the influence of this man by destroying his life. The harder they tried to destroy my life, the better my influence is, because I'm leading first. I'm leading first, head charge. I'm the one going to jail in the worst jails in Europe.
Your fans aren't going, you're going to jail.
My fans are going to jail, I'm going to jail. So they're like, Andrew he's legit. That's the difference between me and everybody else, because everyone else would be sitting at the back somewhere and say, hey guys, you go to jail, you go tell the truth, and I'm not doing that.
You're the one doing it.
I'm the one doing it.
Interesting. I never thought about that.
But this is the number one problem with the world today, what you just highlighted. This is the number one problem. If we had leaders who were accountable to their constituents, the entire world would be a different place, but we don't. We have leaders who are accountable to hidden shadow power structures, which is also, perhaps if I had to self-analyze, if we were doing a psychotherapy session, I would analyze all the things I hate about the world. Because please understand, I've transcended through all the different echelons of experience. I grew up in a single mother, government housing, to being a billionaire, and hang around with the most famous and well-known people on the planet. I've seen every single level. I've seen it all. And when you go through it all, you realize the level of deception people are living under. Everything is a lie. The judicial system's a lie, the financial system's a lie, the medical system's a lie. Everything's a lie. Elections are a lie, money's a lie, everything's a lie. So I guess you either buy into that and allow your soul to be corrupted and be glad it's a lie because you benefit from the lie, or you do what I've done, which is feel a natural aversion, an uncomfortable feeling around lies. So when I see the crypto market and the crypto space for what it is, which is this cesspit It is. It's a cesspit of deception. You have a whole bunch of liars, Telegram groups and anons and just rugging each other and promises and lies and fake projects.
Isn't that just like modern society, though?
Wait, exactly that. Exactly. But isn't that everything I'm against? So this is the exact point.
Valid.
Was I naturally, you're asking why I insulted crypto all the time. I just saw it for what it was. It was a fucking mess. Now I have an opportunity to do something different, so I'm going to do it. Of course. If I had an opportunity to do something different inside of politics, you think I wouldn't do it? Of course I would. But they're not going to let me anywhere near a ballot box because they know I'd win. So they're not going to, they'd kill me first. Because if you're going to cheat in a basketball game, as we said earlier, you're not going to let Andrew Tate be in charge of a country. Because the country will do far too well. Which is why they're trying to put Trump in jail.
Would you want to be in charge of a country?
Well, this is why they're trying to put Trump in jail right now. Why are they trying to put Trump in jail? Because they know they can't buy him, and they don't want anybody in charge who doesn't listen. Because the president isn't in charge of anything.
How did they let him get in the first time?
Well, that's an interesting question, and I'll answer it. I think it was an anomaly. They...
Really?
Of course. The press and the newspapers, everyone was saying they had a 1% chance.
Yeah,
Hillary was supposed to win. They probably rigged the votes a little bit, but not too much. And the press have already said it's a foregone conclusion. And we said he's racist. And we said he grabs girls by the pussy, so it'll be fine. And when he won, they were like, fuck. Can't let that happen again. Get new voting machines, someone. They changed it all. Biden won. So what's going to happen this time? I don't know. I mean, we all know what the outcome should be. But then you have to ask yourself a question. And I'm not insinuating anything. I'm just asking questions as an adult.
If you're allowed to do.
Of course. If the American empire will drone strike people at random, which has been proven they will do, if they'll kill people with impunity, which we know they do, if somebody came into power which would damage the shadow figure's influence over the systems they've controlled for a very long time, would they let him live long enough?
Damn, they're going to kill him?
I'm asking a question. I don't know.
Did they assassinate John Kennedy?
Well, assassination is a weapon in everybody's arsenal, including yours.
Yeah.
I mean, we're humans, right? If somebody did the wrong thing to you, it would cross your mind.
Let me ask you this.
So no, true or false?
Yeah, true.
Okay, so
at some level.
All right, so
you could get there. I could get there.
Okay, so then you add in capability. The number one thing that would stop you assassinating somebody is your lack of capability, because you'd sit and say, well, if I do it myself, I'll get caught, and I don't know anyone else who can do it. But let's say you had capability.
Push a button.
Let's say you had a button and you know you get away with it.
Damn.
Would you kill somebody?
That's a crazy...
For the rest of your human years, I mean, you've had the vaccine. You've got 10 years left. For the rest of your 10 years...
Do you really think that's true?
Don't look for reassurance from me, sir. You have to look at reassurance from God. You made the decision.
You smiled when I said it, so I feel like...
You better start praying.
I've been praying, bro.
You need to.
Yeah.
You need to. But the point I'm making is, if you had the capability without repercussion, it becomes far more tempting, you know?
For sure. I mean, for sure.
Well, that's
All right, let me ask you this.
Which is also, I'll tie it back into crypto, because I can tie it into anything, because why not? That's why everyone's rugging. That's why everyone's lying. That's why everyone's deceiving. That's why everyone's being a crypto influencer, even though they have a fucking terrible track record of promoting dickhead celebrities in their rug pulls. That's why because there's no accountability, because the place is so snaky and so deceptive that the crypto market is so pathetic. And it's pathetic. These men are so honorless.
It's in a weird place.
No, it's not weird. It's pathetic.
It's awkward.
They're so honorless.
It's in a transition phase.
Yeah, you can call it that. They're so honorless that they'll sit there and watch someone steal from them, and watch someone rug pull or watch someone promote a scam. And the next time he promotes a scam, go, he's going to promote a scam, but other people will believe it's a scam. So if I get in and out quick enough, I can make money on the scam. Yeah. They don't even sit and go, this guy's a scammer, fuck him. They all just follow the scammers and try and out-scam the other people. It's a fucking mess.
That's a crazy statement, because there's some truth to that.
There's absolute truth.
Yeah.
They don't even have, we talk about karmic retributions.
Such a good term.
No,
it's so good.
Of course. I don't give a fuck if I can make $100 billion on some OnlyFans girl's
That's a big number.
Sure. On some OnlyFans girl's coin. I wouldn't do it, because I refuse to let some OnlyFans girl be the boss of me long enough while I don't care if my money's in and out, one soul becomes 100 billion in 3 seconds. I can't do it. No, that shit is haram. I'm not gonna just promote some whore's coin.
It's like butt sex coin.
Yeah, but these honorless crypto guys, I can make some money. And they think that the money won't come tainted. It comes tainted. There's karmic retribution to that money. You've made money on some dumb shit which wasn't based on any kind of honor or hard work, wasn't based on brotherhood, wasn't based on any of the things I'm talking about what my coin's gonna be based on, and you think you're gonna take that money and you're not gonna pay the price for it, there's a reason why when you spend that money, you feel fucking sad inside.
So let me ask you this,
because God dislikes you.
I believe the statement that like dirty money comes with the karmic retributions. But my question for you is, how is it different buying butt sex coin than RNT? Like because I understand that it's sort of, you have these values and these beliefs, but this is just some like random coin
you already answered.
promoted.
You already answered.
But it's not your coin. It's just some like random.
Of course it is.
Or like Roost. It's some like random coin that you promoted.
But you already answered. So let me answer the RNT one.
Okay.
You already answered.
How did I answer it?
Because you said intent.
Okay, but what if OnlyFans coin had good intent?
How can you have good intent by promoting degeneracy? And how can you have good intent by promoting butt sex?
But you... Okay,
whereas me promoting a word which can be used to shatter the social paradigms of the human mind, the intent is different.
Yeah, but if your intent is chaos, how does that make it better than OnlyFans girl with degenerate? What's the difference between chaos and degeneracy?
That's a good question. But
there's a lot of synergy there.
No, you could say that. But I wouldn't say it's exactly the same thing.
I didn't say it was the same thing, but it's fairly...
Well, I would say that chaos opens the doors for the possibility of degeneracy, but it also opens the doors for many other things. Chaos is opportunity, but degeneracy is a path within itself. You can have a chaotic society and degeneracy can seep in. You can also have a chaotic society and a God-fearing society.
Valid.
Could grow from it.
Valid.
So chaos, perhaps you could say, is the petri dish, and degeneracy is perhaps the bacteria on top of it. Perhaps.
Valid.
But you're saying, what's the difference between butt sex coin and real nigger Tate?
Dude, you kill me with that. You kill me. You can't even say it with a straight face. You kill me with it.
Because you get so upset by it.
Because you kill me
with it. But you need it more than ever.
I'm just thinking about how many clip my editor. I gotta set timestamp these.
You need it because you're afraid.
I gotta timestamp. You know, I gotta timestamp
fucking vaccine.
I gotta timestamp these and fucking clip it out.
Like a cow.
Every single one.
That's why you need it.
You can't even say it with a straight face.
Yeah, because I'm not scared.
You can't even say it with a fucking straight face.
I'm laughing at how afraid you are of a word. You won't even admit you wear shoes.
God.
Because you're scared.
I said I wear shoes.
Scared of some dude who died in 1945.
I said I fucking wear shoes.
You're living in fear. He's been dead 9 years.
Ah, man, you kill me. Go ahead, though. Finish. You forgot the point.
I didn't forget the point. The point is the intent behind that, me promoting that word, was to try and free people's minds from the matrix, and the intent made it a much better idea than promoting butt sex coin, because I don't think butt sex...
similar, though.
Well, no, it's not similar at all. Trying to free people's minds from a paradigm and remove fear for a word, I believe, to a degree, is noble. Butt sex. Well, I mean, butt sex has literally no purpose at all.
Is butt sex wrong?
Well, I don't think it's purposeful. I think it's hedonistic.
Do you engage in butt sex?
No, of course not. Okay. But do we, I mean, I let you ask the question because it was funny.
I had to ask it.
It was funny.
Okay.
But it's hedonistic. And hedonism is one of the...
It does serve no purpose.
Well, hedonism is one of the largest problems we have with society today. I can go down now how you're supposed to live a life of duty and honor and only do the things that you do because you're supposed to do them, not because they feel good. People wake up in the world today now and say, I want to do what feels good, which is the path of hedonism. Mm-hmm. But often, you're supposed to do things that don't feel good. It doesn't feel good to eat right. It doesn't feel good to train in the gym. It doesn't feel good to tell the truth. It doesn't feel good to be dutiful, etc. It doesn't feel good to stay on the Titanic and die so the women can get off. It doesn't feel good, but you're supposed to because you're a man. Mm-hmm. But men have become hedonistic. You can't reproduce and make beautiful children from butt sex. So there's no reason to do it with a man or a woman, truthfully, with either one. But I don't know, you live in LA, so perhaps...
No comment on that.
Well,
I live on Santa Monica Boulevard.
Everyone seems to think it's great for some reason. I think it's... I mean, if you're having butt sex with girls, you're basically gay to me. I don't see the point.
You think that's gay?
100%. There's loads of ways you can have gay sex with a woman.
What are the other ways?
Condom's pretty gay.
Really? I feel like condom is safe, though.
Can't make kids with that. What's the point of having sex when I'm making children?
It's
because it feels good on your pee-pee. Is that why you do it?
So you're telling... Wait, let me ask you this. Hold on.
Let me
ask you this. So you're saying you only have sex with intent to make children?
I say I only have sex with the possibility to.
Have you ever worn a condom? Don't lie. I didn't lie to you, Andrew Tate. Don't lie to me.
I think when I was 16 or 17.
Okay. So that's a yes.
Yeah. Yes.
I like that we have this, like, open relationship.
Of course. Well, no. Careful how you...
you know what I meant. Well, honest relationship.
Well, the
honest friendship.
Well, this is unique for you because you're a liar, but I'm honest all the time. I'm always honest. So
you got to think about it, though.
Well, I'm not only honest with you.
You paused and, like...
I had to pause to think about it to make sure I was being honest.
Okay. That's valid.
But I'm not only honest with you, I'm honest all the time.
I like
you're perhaps only being honest with me because you just lie through all your other podcasts. I don't know. I've never watched your stuff ever. I have no idea what you say. I've done no research.
But you read my tweets.
I read you insulting me.
You read my tweets.
People say, look at this dickhead. He's saying bullshit. Why are you doing a podcast with him? I mean, that gets sent to me, yeah.
I like where this is going.
Why?
I have a serious question for you though, because you do interest me. I'm like less interested in what you do. I'm more interested in like why you do what you do. Here's my question for you: is like, all right,
What would you do in my position? I'd rather hear that before you ask a question.
in what sense?
Okay, you're a billionaire. You're stuck in Romania. You're facing a judicial process for garbage. You have monumental influence, probably the most influential man alive amongst young men.
Arguably.
You can name someone else if you want. Let me know.
Keep going.
Okay, I thought so. And you're extremely powerful in many different realms, and you're a good speaker, and you can make people understand why you think the way you think. What ideas would you be pushing? What things would you be saying? What would you be doing? What else should I do?
Well, I'll tell you what I think I wouldn't do, which is why I'm interested, is launch like a massive red target for more governments to come after me while I'm already on trial. And so here's my question. Let me finish it.
I'd be a coward.
Here's my question.
I wouldn't put a target
It's like,
on my
all right,
head.
you're top G, self-proclaimed billionaire.
What are you afraid
Listen
of?
to me. No, let me.
You're living your whole fucking
let me
life
finish.
afraid they're gonna.
Let me finish.
You're a fucking coward.
Let me finish. You're Andrew Tate, top G, ex-kickboxing world champion, reality TV star, self-proclaimed billionaire, 59 supercars. You kind of have like anything that you would want to have, and you're in the middle of this trial, right? Like, I think you always live with a magnifying glass over your life, but right now more.
It's the sword of Damocles.
Right now,
Do you know the story of the sword of Damocles?
Can I finish it or no?
No. Do you know the story of the sword of Damocles?
Dude, I had the whole clip. It was
Don't care.
You fucked
Do you
it
know,
up.
Don't give a fuck. Do you know?
Are you dodging when I'm asking because you don't want to answer it? 'Cause I'll let you tell the story, but just are you dodging?
I'll
it?
answer your question.
Are you dodging it though?
Absolutely not. I don't even know what it is. But I'm sure it's stupid.
Okay, ask.
No, ask me the
No,
question. Come on, let's make
tell the story.
It'll be more interesting.
No, I want tell me the story.
It's the sword of Damocles.
I want to hear the story. Yeah, go.
You don't know the story of the sword of Damocles?
I'm about to. What do you got?
I'm not going to tell you. You can look it up.
Dude, tell me the story.
Continue with your question.
I like story time with you though. Tell me. Give me like a high level, like a quick.
You can look it up.
Give me like
you have a phone.
Give me like a. I don't use my phone during interviews. I'm respectful.
Continue with the question. Come on, let's go.
All right. Well, you threw me off,
Start
dude.
again. Be a professional. Go.
Fuck. All right, here's a question. Is like, but I don't want to like compliment
Start
you
again. Be professional.
But I have to compliment you and talk about the
It's
supercars
fine, go.
again. All right. Here's a question. Is
I'm listening. I'm listening.
I couldn't tell.
Go.
I couldn't tell.
Go.
All right. Here's a question. Is you're in a position of power that you're in, right? Self-proclaimed billionaire, Andrew Tate, top G. You kind of have everything you have. Right now, more than ever, there's a magnifying glass over everything you do. You have
It's the
this,
sword of Damocles.
dude. Tell me the fucking story. You have this. You have a magnifying glass over everything you do. People are watching you, picking you apart now more than ever. That didn't sound right, but you know what I meant. My question for you is like, why launch this coin right now? Like, why do this now? And I know you're an agent of chaos, you're a genie, all these things, but like, what is the upside here? If it's not for money, if you haven't made any money from this, it's not to gain influence because you already have influence. It's not, if it's not for financial influence, network power, like what is the point? Why launch this coin?
You know,
Because you're kind of just setting yourself up for failure here, if I'm being honest.
how am I setting myself up for failure?
Because I don't
I
really-
understood the question until you said that thing.
Because I don't really see like a positive outcome here. Like,
No, I'm setting myself up for. I'm adding the possibility of risk to my life.
you are adding risk, but at
I'm
what
not setting
benefit?
myself up for failure.
Okay, let me rephrase it. You're adding risk, but usually you go risk to reward, right? You take on a certain amount of risk for an X amount of reward. But I guess my question is, what is the reward? Like,
Okay.
what is the best case scenario
That's
reward?
better-
That's a better question.
that's a better
right?
phrase.
If I didn't re-ask it the first time, but go ahead.
You know, I often wonder.
Okay.
You're born on the fields of Mongolia somewhere amongst the wheat, and you learn to ride a horse, and you drink milk from the yak, and you learn how to fight, and you become a good archer, and then you put your group together and decide to fuck with the people near you, and you start conquering lands. Then what you do is your daughters, you marry them off to the leaders of these foreign lands, so they become like part of your family. So you integrate them. So you go to the kings that you conquer and say, you can stay king, but you'll marry my daughter, and you're the king, but I'm the real king, and you'll obey me. You get a larger and larger empire by horseback, and you ransack places very far away, like Iraq. And with this huge empire, I wonder what makes you want to still try and siege a city like Vienna, because Vienna in Austria is extremely far from Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia, but you're just Genghis Khan, aren't you? So you have all the land you could possibly ever have. You'll never see all the lands that you own. You can't even travel that far. You're way back there in Mongolia, and you've heard a message which has taken 4 months to come to you by horseback, that you've reached a city called Vienna in Austria, and it's a walled city, and the Christians are going to try and defend it, and hundreds of thousands of men are going to die if you try to siege it, and you still say, fuck it, I want it. Why?
Yeah, why?
Well, why? That's exactly the question. You're talking about the code in the matrix because you're talking about the crypto coin. You're talking about the court case. You're talking about the target on my head and all these things. It's a much deeper question than that. Why do some men do what they do? Why did Elon decide to put rockets in space instead of just retire? He was rich after PayPal. Why?
Yeah, that's fair.
Why did Alexander the Great need all that land? Why did men go to the Antarctic to try and cross the icy, barren, empty plains and freeze to death to just be the first men who did it? Why do that? You can't even put it on Facebook back then. Who gives a shit? Some men are built different, sir. Some men want to do it because it hasn't been done. And that is the reason why. They do not need much more motivation than the fact they will be first. There isn't much motivation to get on a rocket and be the first man on the moon, because the probability is you're gonna die or get stuck up there and never make it back. Or even if you do go and you do come back, half the people on Earth won't believe you went at all. So why would you do that unless you're just that kind of guy? The fact that you will say to me, but it puts a target on your head, shows me that God will never, ever give you my position of influence, because along the way, you will have so many chances to be a pussy, which you will take, which will prevent you from ever getting to my echelon of capability and influence and power. Because if I gave a fuck about having a target on my head at all, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. And I wouldn't have the ability to do the things I can do.
That's fair.
So I don't care. I'm doing it because it must be done. There's an opportunity for it to be done, and I can do it better than anybody else.
But I could say this to you, is that there's a lot of things that you could do first. Doesn't necessarily make it right. Like, you could be like the first person to kill 40 people in a presidential suite of a hotel room. It doesn't like make it right. Like being first and right doesn't necessarily correlate.
Okay, but launching a crypto coin which is based on dignity and honor, I think it's pretty difficult to draw parallels.
Well, there's a weird analogy. There's a weird analogy. Okay,
I mean,
put me on the fucking spot.
Being a school shooter, I think that's a difficult analogy to draw. I mean, certain things. I mean,
but here's my question, I guess.
But walking across Antarctica, no one's done it. So you get to explore, right?
Is like, but somebody has. There have been influential people that have launched crypto coins and they've gone well. You're not the first person to do that.
Okay.
So the question is like, what? Like, I understand, okay, I'm doing it because I can, but there's a lot of things that you can do that you maybe don't necessarily do. So I'm just curious, like, I don't know. I'm just sort of like...
I would like to do a poll.
Okay, what's the poll?
Underneath this video.
Okay.
Am I making sense? Does nobody understand me?
I mean,
I just tried to explain.
You're making sense.
Let me start again. You're born on the fields of Mongolia. Amongst the wheat, you learn to ride a horse. You learn to fight, get your guys together. You go and start to conquer the lands near you. What you do is you marry your daughters off to the kings. So you go there and say, you get to still be king, but you're gonna marry my daughter, so you're part of my family, and I'm the real king.
So what's the psychology behind why Genghis Khan did it? Like, why does he want it?
Well,
just because he can?
So now you're asking me. But perhaps this is a philosophical question which is too large even for the top G. Maybe some men are just built different. Perhaps, sir, if you want to keep it crypto specific, perhaps the entire world we live in was built by the unreasonable. Because men like you, who are scared of the target on their back and want to be reasonable, and who are scared and thinking, oh, maybe it's not worth it. Men like you, and there's nothing wrong with people like you, but there's men like you and there's men like me. Men like you don't think, let's build a taller building. Let's sail the 7 seas. Let's explore the unseen land. Let's go conquer that tribe over there. But they're fierce. There's a target on our heads. They might kill us. They've never lost a war. Yeah, but we're built different. So we're gonna go fight them anyway. The entire world was built by unreasonable people. The roads you drove here on, and this nice hotel we're in.
It is nice.
Oh, there you go. It was built by unreasonable people. Satoshi Nakamoto himself, was he a reasonable person? Did he sit and go, we have Swift transfer and it's fine? Or do you think, you know what, this is a different paradigm. Why would I invent Bitcoin? Because I can. I see an opportunity. It could be done. It would change things. Some people just do things because they can be done. In fact, everything you enjoy about the modern world comes from that exact imperative which is born inside of the masculine realm. That's what men do. Now, Satoshi had to disappear because they put a target on his head. But this is the only reason we're having a conversation in the first place. This is how the world works, right? Genghis Khan got a target on his head, no doubt about that. That's the way the world is. So if you're going to sit and say, why would you take risk to push a boundary because it puts a target on your head and there's risk? Well, then why did Christopher Columbus get on a boat? I don't know. You tell me. Maybe he should have just sat at home with his money, getting blowjobs, having butt sex, and have kids, don't take any risks, don't put a target on your head. Why do that? You could just have butt sex and stay home. He had plenty of money for butt sex. He could have got endless butt sex slaves and just had butt sex like you do in LA. You could have sat around having a degenerate hedonistic life and nobody would fucking remember his name. Or perhaps he thought, fuck it, I'm gonna risk my life and do something different. The target on my head doesn't cross my mind. I don't care. Because God's already decided what's going to happen to me. And I am simply one of his servants doing the best thing I can possibly do, which is doing my best to restore honor and faithfulness to a decaying society inside of a failing Western empire. So if I can financially incentivize young men to work hard, I believe God will favor me for doing that. And if I pay the price for doing that here in the physical realm and end up in a jail cell, I believe the karmic retributions are worth it. So I don't give a fuck. That is why. And if you don't understand that reasoning, then you don't also understand why Genghis Khan, worshiping whoever he worshipped, decided to set Vienna on fire. That's what some men just do.
Do you think you're going to go back to jail?
I've never thought about that.
Okay.
Which may sound strange to people.
Really?
Considering I'm in the middle of a court case. But I don't think it matters.
But you're prepared to go back to jail?
I'm prepared to go to jail, prepared not to go to jail, prepared to live, prepared to die, prepared to walk, prepared to swim. If I go to jail, I go to jail. If I don't, I don't. What am I supposed to do about it? I don't understand. I'm not a coward. I'm not going to run. If God decides I should go to jail, then I'll go to jail. It's fine. Got a pillow, got a bed. What am I going to sit around and cry about it? I mean, my enemies want me to care, right? Because that's the process is to punishment. They want me to sit around worrying. Mm-hmm. Perhaps I'll go to jail. They want me concerned. They want me scared. But if I don't give a single fuck, then they can't really punish me, can they? Mm-mm. I don't care. I mean, if you're suicidal, dying isn't a punishment.
That's
so if I'm not scared of jail, then go to jail is not a punishment. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I'm Andrew Tate in jail. I'm Andrew Tate outside of jail. I'm glad I'm me. I mean, I'm at the point now where we have the dichotomy of making me a legend by sending me to a jail or making me a legend by showing that you tried to set me up.
You're kind of in a win-win right there.
Oops. So they lose. I mean, I'm really not concerned. I'm built different. I mean, I will go to jail and I'll do my push-ups.
I don't think I'm in the position yet that Genghis Khan was in as far as power, influence, experience, level of life. But I think, I don't know, I think kind of to your takes, like it's parallel to some men are built different. It's like, you do some things because you can. You get to a certain point. It's like, I can do this thing. He can't. You can't. They can. I'm going to do it because I can. I think there's elements of it that's like a test of your abilities. Like, can I do this thing? Somebody told you you can't. Somebody thinks that you can't. Like you said, they have a massive army. They have 100,000 Christians that are ready to fucking battle. You're not going to win this war. You're going to spread yourself too thin. Don't do it. Okay, well, you told me not to do it. I'm going to do it. So I think it's say what you were going to say. But I think... I don't know. I think for myself, I haven't been there yet, but you get to a certain point where you do some things just because you can, and you can't.
But this is the beauty of God's creation, right? This is one of the most beautiful things about humanity and the universe as a whole, is that if you're not the kind of man who would do things just because they can do them, you'll never be put in a position where you're capable of doing them anyway.
Is that a good enough reason to do them?
But no, it's not about good enough reason. It's about the only reason you ended up in a position where you could do them is because you're the kind of person who would do them. The kind of people who wouldn't do them don't ever get in a position. That's the beautiful thing about life. Because there's so many times along the way you could have chosen something else and you just never would have reached that pinnacle and level of power. Why do fighters win a world championship and then keep fighting afterwards? Well, they would never become world champion if they weren't the kind of person who will just continue to fight. That's how they are. So some men are just built different. I ask you a counter question, sir, because you seem confused by my motivations.
I wouldn't say confused.
Wouldn't it
curious.
Okay, but wouldn't it be more strange for me to be perhaps the only person on the planet who could do this in regards to clean up the crypto space? Because I'm the only person on the planet.
When you say clean up, what do you
build a coin based on the things it should be based on and make sure that people who get wealthy deserve to get wealthy.
Would you say Bitcoin already did that?
Perhaps. But to a degree, there's still some luck involved.
For sure. But
It's not based purely on hard work. I mean, I'm not shitting on Bitcoin. I
your
love Bitcoin.
coin would have some luck involved, though, surely.
Not really. I'm telling everyone, join the school and increase your power level. There's no luck at all involved. Increase your power level. Go to work right now. Join university.com, $49, and follow the tutorial on how to increase your power level.
I'm a student.
Good. Smart man. So I ask you a counter question.
Okay, what do you got?
Considering I'm perhaps the only person on the planet who could clean up the crypto space in this way, because I'm the only person on the planet with the largest educational platform in the world, monumental influence, not just influence, I have trust amongst my fans. There's a lot of people who people know but don't trust them.
For sure.
People trust me because they know I'm not a piece of shit like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, the drive and vision and capability and finance and team to pull something like this off. To be in such a unique position and then think, I don't know, nah. And then just walk away. Wouldn't that be stranger? It's like being Indiana Jones, right? Because I'm in a very unique position. No other explorer can end up where I am. I'm Indiana Jones and I'm deep in a cave and there's a golden egg. And if I don't pick it up, nobody can. Only me. I'll pick it up and take it out to civilization, or I'll leave it undisturbed and no other explorer can ever get to it because they don't have the right ropes, they don't have the right experience, they ain't got the right hat. Why wouldn't I take that golden egg? I think it'd be much stranger for me to sit there and go, but if I take the golden egg, I'll owe taxes. Like a dumbass. And if I was the kind of person who would be saying things like that, I would have never got
To the golden egg in the first place.
In the first place. That's not how the world works. God knows exactly what he is doing. Karmic retribution is real, and he gives power to the people who he knows will use the power when they have the chance to use the power, above things as simple as getting in trouble. He gives power to people and puts them in positions where they sacrifice their lives for the good of humanity.
Here's a question for you.
So I'm not, just to finish my point, launching this coin, okay, I might get in trouble. I might owe some taxes. I might have a court case. I might go to jail. I'm not sacrificing my life. I mean, to you talk of me as if I'm brave. I don't see any bravery in it.
Do you think you're brave?
Well, I think I'm a brave person, absolutely. But you talk as if what I'm doing is ultimately brave and I'm taking a huge risk. We're in Romania, 6 hours drive away is the Ukrainian border, and there's men getting blown to fucking pieces by drones for nothing, for $200. So, what, a coin? Fuck you.
All right, here's a better...
I'm going to take the golden egg because I can. I want you to understand me because you didn't seem to understand me. I'm taking the golden egg because I can, because it's in front of me and I'm the only person who can fucking do it. So it's mine. I'm going to take it. And if there's consequences, I'm still the motherfucker who took the golden egg.
All right, here's the question. Rather than why take the golden egg, why take the golden egg now if you could have already taken it for months, years on end? That's my question, is like...
because as I explore the earth...
Because you could have taken... You saw that egg 3 years ago.
As I explore
You knew the
earth,
egg existed years ago.
As I explored
And you
the
sat
earth.
there and you watched it, you did nothing.
There's lots of different eggs.
You stared at it, you looked at it, you analyzed it, but you didn't take
your
it
limited mind,
for years.
Your limited brain, you think there's only one egg.
You just stared at that fucking egg, man.
Do you think I've been doing nothing for
but
the last 3 years?
I didn't say that. But
Okay.
that's the egg, though.
I was getting other eggs. No, to you it's the egg, because you're a crypto dork. To me, there's other eggs, which are far more important.
Okay.
I have not been wasting the last 3 years, sir.
I didn't say you were.
Okay. And what's also very interesting is that on all my other explorations, on all the other eggs I have acquired on my journey throughout Earth, I've gained experience, which has made me an even better explorer, which will
get
make
better
me even
eggs.
better at conquering this golden egg. So if I hadn't gone to jail, I would be well known, but perhaps not as well known. And also, I would not have been able to prove to people at home that my soul is not for sale. If I'd never been to jail, people would doubt I'd sold my soul. But because I went to jail and I suffered so immensely, they know my soul is not for sale. So now they believe me when I say I'm not going to rug pull, so that I can take the golden egg of crypto easier.
But isn't Hunter Biden going to go to jail?
So, you think he's going to jail?
I said, isn't he? It was a question.
Is he in jail?
No.
Okay, so let's believe it when he's in jail, shall we?
Sorry. It was a fair comment.
So as I explore the world, you're asking about one egg because you're focused on one thing, because you still think of crypto and you think of money and all this garbage. It doesn't mean anything to me. I'm interested in other things. I've been capturing other eggs, sir. I have a whole wall of eggs. That's why I'm the top G. That's how I answer your question. So you're saying, why haven't I done it sooner? I did it at a whim. I can tell you what I did that morning. I woke up, I pushed her off of me, and I pushed her off of me, And I got out of bed, and I had my coffee, and I got a cigar, and I went out to the garden, and I said to Tristan, let's talk shit at crypto Twitter. And he said, all right. So I started making videos. I remember the video. I was smoking a cigar, and the two girls were up by then, and they were both massaging my back.
I remember the video.
And I was having the thing.
You called us vermin.
Coffee. Say again?
I said you called us vermin.
You are vermin. And I said to my brother, this will be
Takes
funny.
one to know one?
No. I said, this will be funny. And I smoked my cigar, and I started. And then the journey begun. Very much like Indiana Jones saw a little cave opening. He thought, let's just have a quick look. Let's just see what's in the cave. Just pop my head in. This is interesting. And he started to walk deeper and deeper and deeper. And after a few days, he realized, there's a golden egg at the end of this. So now I'll continue. And that's how we ended up here. At the beginning, I just wanted to pop my head in the cave. But now I realize there's
But you liked what you saw in there?
Well, there's a golden egg to take. And I do have one space left on my egg wall. And if you or anybody else at home is confused as to my motivations for why I'm doing what I'm doing, then I guess you're just not built the way I'm built. To me, it's extremely simple.
How did jail change you? It's a little off topic. We were talking about jail.
Part of me misses jail, you know?
Really? That's a crazy statement.
I would argue right now that Assange misses jail, too. I was thinking about this because Assange just got out. I'd argue that he misses jail a lot. It's amazing how the human mind adapts to its surroundings. And, okay, in some ways it's stressful, but there's no light without dark. In other ways, it's not very stressful. I mean, food arrives on time. Mm-hmm. Bed's there.
Is it good?
No. No rent. I'm good at finding the good in things. I'm sure, I'm not that old. I'm sure before I die.
How old are you?
37.
Oh, you look good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the vaccine, I have quite a long while left. I'm sure I'll see the inside of a jail cell again.
Okay.
And this time I'll...
So you have thought about going back to jail?
Well, this time I'll enjoy it a lot more. I think the possibility of me going is quite probable. I mean, I'm a very famous, well-known person, and I have lots of money, and I'm going to be alive for another 40, 50 years. Will I see the inside of a jail cell even for just a day for some reason? Probably. But now that I've been once, I think I'd enjoy it a lot more because I understand it better. Just as we were talking about, once you get good at taking eggs, you can get better at other eggs. Now, I've done Romanian jail. I'm sure I'd be very good at easier jails, like America or England. That'd be a very easy jail compared to what I've done.
Which you did.
But, I mean, it was an experience, and that's what life is for. Lots of people are going through the world trying to get experiences, but they're so obsessed with getting the positive experiences that they never really experience life at all. People go through life and they say, I want to make money on a crypto coin, and I want to get rich, and I want to buy a Lamborghini, and then I want to get a beautiful girlfriend, I want to go on a boat in Miami, and all this fucking positive, but there's no light without dark. You could do all of those things, and you'd still be miserable if you didn't experience the dark. If you have not experienced true misery and pain, you'll never ever be happy. Mm-hmm. So if you're going through life as a man and you're looking for experiences over comfort, which is what you should be doing, which is what the great explorers of the world have always done, because they weren't looking for comfort. Comfort's at home. Experience is out there. Yeah. All the sailors, all the warriors, they were looking for experiences. Yeah. So I love the negative experiences along with the positive experiences. I love jail because it's an experience. Is it a bad experience? Sure. But then my bedroom is beautiful once again, like it's never been before.
Oh, how was that first sleep back?
Well, but this is the point. Everyone's obsessed with the positive experiences. But nobody is chasing any kind of negative experience, which is why, I chose fighting, right? Yeah. But I believe every man should be choosing to do something which is extremely hard, which they hate, which sucks, because you don't appreciate life at all without it. The reason people are taking so many drugs, for example, because I'm fervently anti-drugs. I've never tried a drug in my life, never even tried weed. The reason people
Really?
Never.
You never smoked a blunt?
Never.
Wow.
Never. The reason people chase higher highs all the time, and the reason they're constantly taking drugs and trying to fuck new pussy and drink more alcohol and chasing higher highs all the time is because they don't experience any lows. Mm-hmm. So you always want a higher high, but I promise you, the higher high is fine if you balance it with a little bit of low. If you bounce down there for a week and come back to where you were, you're good. Constantly chasing higher highs is hedonism, which ends in one place. Mm-hmm. It always ends in a spiral, a downward spiral, right? And butt sex, like the whole city of LA.
You're obsessed with butt sex.
Well, hey, bro, it's your city. So you need to stay away from constantly chasing those things. You need to artificially manufacture some lows. I chose fighting because fighting will do that for you. It's hard, it's stressful, you're worried, you train all the time, you're exhausted, you win, you lose, you get hurt, you go hospital. There's a lot of negatives in it. But there's not enough negatives in men's lives today. But you're asking me about jail as if it's a good or bad thing, or if I'm worried about going back. But to me, all experiences are on an even level playing field. Whether it's a good experience or a bad experience, it doesn't matter. There's experiences, and then there's comfort. And it doesn't matter if you're a good experience or a bad experience. As long as you're on the experiences side, I'm happy for you. My father died, which was a negative experience, but you learn a lot from it. It was an experience. It was a period of life where I was learning and growing, as was jail, as was sitting in the Bugatti meeting, as was buying a jet, as will be conquering the crypto space, as will be getting fucking stabbed when he finally gets hold of me and I can't block it with my hand. That's life.
How long ago did your father die?
8 years.
8 years. And what were you doing, and where were you in life 8 years ago?
I was here in Romania. I was in a hotel about to commentate on a fight show.
Interesting.
Yeah.